Are we live?
We are live. Hello, hello, everybody. Happy Monday. We are live. Let's see if I can make this dry.
Hi, everyone.
Hello, hello. Carrie's with me today. She's a much better watercolorist than I, and I can learn from her. I make this dry really quickly. I don't care if it goes on the back of the one in front of it, though. So let's see who's here. Patty Crane is here. First one in. Hello, hello, Patty. Welcome, welcome. Sylvia's here. Yay! I love Sylvia's hands, the waving hands. The Queen is not here. She may be, but she's not yet. I don't know if she'll be able to make it today. The Queen being Margie. I do have lozenge. Okay. Naughty Glynis. Glynis isn't feeling great either, so she may make it. Hopefully. Just let me be crafty. Oh, you got to remind me who is just let me be crafty. That's not Laura. There's just something else crafty. Hello, hello. Just let me be crafty. Pop in there your name. Remind me who you are. I know who you are. Please remind me. You didn't miss anything. It's Glynis's fault. You didn't miss anything. We just started. Hi, Gretchen. Good morning. Good afternoon. Oh, it's me. It's Hi, me. Who is me? I know there's Glynis and Sylvia a raspberry. I think Glynis's husband is right. I think Glynis caught a bug of some kind. I think that's why she's been not feeling good for all week. So we are going to do some watercolor play today. And I am learning watercolor. And, it's all about experiment. It's all about being curious. I forgot I was on this channel. Melanie, hi. It is Melanie. Hello, hello. Welcome. So glad you're here. Melanie is already a watercolor artist. I can learn from you as well. So, yeah, I forgot who you logged in on. So, what it's showing up as your name, it's not showing Melanie. Let me switch. Okay. You can switch. Be right back. No big deal. So today, if you want to participate, I hope you do, because it'll be a lot of curious experimentation and a lot of fun, a lot of play. And I've been watching a lot of different watercolor artists, and it seems like you just have to play. You just have to play with it. And there's lots and lots of techniques out there to just try these techniques, to learn, to get a feel for it, how much water to use, how little water to use, what the paints do, what the paper does. Boy, what a difference the paper makes. So let's start right out with, Melanie will be right back. I know she's going to participate with us today. I've got some things to show you that I played with just a little bit last night that we can do, and some other things that I haven't done yet that we can do. She's raspberry and Glenn is back. Melanie's back. Either way, now at least I'll hopefully remember that that's you. Let's start with our prize pack today. I've got an envelope stuffed with goodies. This one has a washi tape that's 4 inches wide in it. Metallic markers. I know it's got stamps and dies and lots of good stuff. Lots and lots of fun stuff. This is our prize envelope today. Anybody who supports the channel today in the super chat, just participate in the super chat, support the channel. And at the end of today's live, we will have a drawing and give away this prize pack. It is supplies to use in could be in your art journaling, it could be in your junk journaling. This one I know has some old vintage things, like there's a stack of really old grungy water stained, because they got in a whole business water flood thing, business cards, and they're all different ones. They're not all the same business card. I know it's got some other old grungy like packaging and things, and then it's got some brand new supplies. So this one's got both old and new. Darn it, I'm going to have a lozenge already. Lots of fun stuff in there. And so the winner will just need to PayPal $11 for the shipping of the envelope, and everything inside is your prize pack. Awesome. Thank you so much for your contributions and your support of the channel. I'm going to write these down just so when we get to the end, I don't forget anything or anybody. I've got Patty and Carrie and Sylvia and Melanie. Yay, she found it. So you'll need some watercolor paper. You'll need your watercolor paints. You'll need some water to dip your brush in. And Glynis, thank you, thank you. Okay, Patty and Carrie and Sylvia and Melanie and Glynis. Thank you guys for your support. Keep an HPP rolling. And at the end, at the end of this live, we will do the spinning wheel of names so that everybody can see live who wins that prize pack. So really do appreciate it. We are, as admin, we are meeting and looking at and talking about 2026 and what we would like to do, some things we'd like to do. This has been a challenging year. 2025 has for a lot of you. You have to wait. Pull out your watercolors, Sylvia. She's way better at watercolor than me. I can learn a lot from her. So pull out your watercolors and play with us. We are anxious for the end of 2025 and to open a new year in 2026. And we are looking at things that we want to do as a group and kind of the direction we want to go. So I will say that all of you in chat, if you have ideas, things that you would like to see us do, or ideas as a group, or some big project, or little projects, or just Monday jump starts, please shoot me a private message. Shoot me a private message and let me know what your thoughts are, your ideas, what you'd like to see, even if you don't know anything about it, but something that you'd like to learn. I'm looking forward to learning and trying some new things in 2026. So if you have some of those, please let me know what they are so I can get them on the list as well. Leave me alone. Sylvia has been immersed in leaves, the most beautiful leaves for a long time now. Yes, Melanie, I love watercolor on the gel plate. See, that's a whole nother thing we need to do is pull out gel plates and watercolor, only watercolor. So look at this cute little thing. Here's something I have learned recently. You can paint a lot of things with blobs. Sometimes when life is tough and you just can't get the brain going in real good creative things, you can always paint blobs, right? So I have found that I can just sit down brainlessly and paint blobs and turn them into cool things. Let me show you a few of them. This one, these are tiny, teeny, tiny blobs. And look how cute that turns out with lots of little people. And let's see, here's some blobs. I love these little blob guys. They're fun. Yeah, I was just kind of testing out what these colors were. They were new colors. And then you just take a pen and draw on them. Here's some more blobs. These blobs turned into potion bottles, which could be cut out and used to decorate. I like just doing this. This is one of my practice journals. We made this together. We just did watercolor paper. There's mixed media paper. There's craft paper. So whatever we're doing, and put it on on rings so it can lay flat, or I could take a page out and then put it back in. So this is just a practice journal, and I love that. Love the practice. Here's another one. Little blobs with a little more shape. Super easy for somebody who's not a trained watercolor artist. It was super easy. Cactuses, and then you can see with the pen, just did some pen work after. And you don't have to be a pen artist either, because when you do it like this, you don't even need it to be exactly on. It's just the rough outline. Here's another one.
Here's blobs on a stick.
Oh, I love that. Blobs on sticks. Now, that is something really good to practice, because I need to learn how to make the leaf shapes, and different brushes and pressing them different ways, I'm seeing, makes different leaves. So I love that. You could probably teach me how to do different leaf shapes. Again, no particular skill here, just blobs and strips make nice little flowers. Okay, and that's the end of that grouping. So here is a different technique to make a row of people than this one. These were little tiny blobs. This is a different technique entirely. And we'll do this one today because it's super easy, super fun. And oh, I did try, Sylvia, I tried that one. You sent me a picture and I tried it. Little too much water. It went all over the place, but I loved it. I loved trying it. So we can also just swatch. You can swatch colors. You know, that's always fun too. Gives you an idea of, I like, actually, the paints that I have out here, these are Daniel Smith, and I did swatch them on a card here. I can't tell when I look at the paint, the dried paints, I can't tell exactly what color they're going to be. So this is so helpful. It tells me if it's dark and if it's lighter with more water. You know, I really need that. So other things that we can do very simply are make plates. That this could be used anywhere. It could be used in a Christmas journal, but also could be the face of a Christmas card. So there's several different ways. This is literally blobs with washi tape. So I'll show you how we did that with just blobs and more blobs. So I left these like this because I'd probably just put a sentiment on them and then put them on a card base. And there's a little handmade watercolor Christmas card. So you might want to have today something to make circles with, just a lid or a paper cup or a washi roll or anything. I've got a couple different sizes depending what we do there. Some watercolor paper. I've got this one. I also grabbed, like, you can take bigger paper like this and fold it in half just to make a watercolor greeting card or birthday card. Or a smaller one. Sometimes I just like those little ones. They don't all have to be big. I like little cards. They're cute. So let's start with, got some smaller ones, and I've got some of these. These are just the little one. This is much cheaper watercolor paper, and these are just the little squares, like 4-inch squares that I had there. So let's start with, let's do a couple different things. We'll also get to that exercise. What I am finding is that there's a lot of like exercises that you can do with watercolor, and you end up with something really cool. But what it does is teach you the technique, give you a better idea of how things react, how things work. Let's see, what should we do first? Let's do the Christmas trees first. Let's do the Christmas trees first. I'm going to do this one on a little bit bigger paper, which would make a bigger card. So super easy way. And if you are already more experienced and more talented, then you know, piece of cake, and you'll be able to even do a little bit more with this. You could also go back with this with maybe a white Posca and just drop some drops of paint that's like snow in the air and on the ground, even on the tree. You could go back with a gold or a black pen and doodle or draw some different things on that. But so we're going to start this one out with some washi tape and rule of threes. That's why we have 3 Christmas trees. If you have a bigger paper, you could do 5 or more if you wanted to. Oh my goodness. Find the end of the roll of the washi before you start the live.
Good luck with that.
Right? First of all, I have to take my glasses off to be able to see it. Then I should be able to see it. Should being the operative word. There it is, right there. That's odd that when it's down, because these are stripes, when the end was down, it lined up perfectly with its pattern. That's really odd. You can usually see it a little bit easier on a pattern because it doesn't line up exactly. Okay, so we know that we're going to put one of these across the bottom or across the middle. This is going to be the bottom of the Christmas trees. So I know when I peel this up, underneath it is going to be the trunk as well as the base down there. So I'm going to decide just where the bottom of the tree will go. And that's where that is. And then I want 3 trees. I'm going to start with the middle one. And I'm just going to put a piece of washi up and then down. I'm going to put the washi down pretty well because I don't want the paint to go underneath it. And then I'm going to do 2 on the sides. And the 2 on the sides, I want to overlap the washi because you're automatically going to have that space in between them. You can make them all the same size. You can make them smaller, bigger, whatever you want. You could do a whole little forest. So Melanie, you're playing along with us. Sylvia, are you playing along? Shouldn't all over yourself. When it comes to finding the raw washi end, yes, I should do that. I definitely shoulda, woulda, coulda. Have you done soap bubbles? And yes. Oh, soap bubbles are really cool with watercolor. And see, those are the things that, like, just to try. They're great to experiment with, and you don't have to be really good at anything to try them. I love that. Melanie, we need to have you on a watercolor day with us.
Yeah.
You got lots of ideas. I know that she's not a beginner watercolorist, so I know that I could learn a lot and probably get a lot of new ideas of things to try. Okay, I'm going to choose a brush that is just a round brush, but it's not too big because I want to put multiple colors here, and they're just going to be blobs, strips. I'm going to pick probably 3 colors. Let me see if I have a gold metallic. I think that would be pretty. I used like a red and a pink and a yellow, which was like gold on this one. But I think I went back in and just added a little bit of the brighter red as later. So, but I'm going to start with 3 colors. Let's see. There is a metallic gold in here. Instead of the yellow, I'm going to try metallic gold with red and pink. I'll make a real pretty, there we go. I might not even have ever used these. Well, it's about time they get used then, right?
I'm going to be boring and use green.
Well, then you can go back and add color decorations on them. So, okay. So I'm going to use the gold, and I'm going to use crimson, which is right here. And even if you used multiple shades of green, that would give you really cool shading in the tree, because it doesn't always have to be Christmas. And then I'm going to use this bright pink up here, I think. Okay, so I'm basically just going to put some blob-like kind of strips. Decide, where you want the colors. And you don't really, it doesn't really matter because you don't really know, if you want to adjust it a little at the end, you can do that. So there's some crimson. I'm going to rinse that off. And come over here for some of this fuchsia. I got this one after this pan was full, or I probably wouldn't have put the white in. I put that fuchsia in, but put some of that fuchsia on there. That's really pretty when it dries. Okay. When I did my trees, not all the same size. All right. Then I'm going to come back for the gold. It's okay. I'm good, Melanie says. You don't want to be on live with me? But
it's so much fun.
It is. And I could learn so much from you. Between you and Carrie teaching me new watercolor techniques, I'll get it sooner or later. Okay, then I'm just going to plop some gold blobs in there. And I can also see where I want to add some more color of the colors because there's more space. You could leave some white space if you want to. Ooh, I think I'm going to like that metallic gold on there. Let's see here. Okay, I'm going to go back and pick up some more of the crimson. Get it in here. And just go right over the washi tape and get whatever spaces you want. But I kind of like going over the washi tape then to the paper because then it helps it not go under it. If I go paper to the washi tape, it can help kind of push it underneath the washi tape. And I am trying to avoid going underneath the washi tape. I like that.
Gretchen wants to know, she says, I had to take a phone call. Did we spray water or anything before we
okay. I sprayed my paints to start getting them softened a bit, but I did not spray the paper because we're going to use wet paint directly on the paper. So we took washi tape and just did one across the bottom, and then we put washi tape in 3 triangles to represent our 3 trees. This is what we're going to end up with, Gretchen. And so now we picked 3 colors. I'm using a crimson, bright fuchsia, and a metallic gold are the 3 I have chosen. And now that I've got all the color down, I'm kind of going back and going, okay, I want to add a little bit of fuchsia right there. And I added a little more of the dark crimson, and I'll probably add a little more gold here and there. Like some of them have way more gold than they need. Others have way more crimson than they need. So, just kind of adjust that after you get it all down. You can kind of say what you'd like to add. I really like the unpredictability of just adding these and what it ends up being. I want a little bit of darker, so I'm going to grab a little more crimson. Now I'm going to put a gold star up on top, so I'm being careful not to make the tip of my tree gold because I'll want that contrast.
Now you tell me.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just realized that. I just remembered that. So getting a little more of this dark. Now, if you get it in there and you think, oh, I just wanted a little more muted, like watercolory, you can actually just spray a little bit of water on it. Okay, so now I'm just going to pick up my washies and pull them off. And I didn't wait for it to dry. I just did it right here while it was wet.
Mine's really wet. I got to dry it.
Might need to. I can see right there. I'm actually going to dab up a little bit of that because that is pretty soaking right there. And right there, paper towel or your art towel will work great on that. Oops, I got a little bit on the bottom here because I set my washi down after I started pulling it up. There we go. Okay, I have a little more water on that than I did previously, so it's not perfect. And that's okay because branches of trees are not perfect. And I'm okay with that. Sylvia. Okay, so then I'm going to continue to let that dry a minute. If I have to take the dryer to it, I will. But I'm going to let that continue to dry. And I'm going to grab my brush, just trying to rinse all that color out of it. I love these cotton towels. They're just like flour sack towels. I get them at Walmart in like a pack of 10. They're cheap. And I use those for everything from acrylic paint to watercolor paint to I even pick up glue, whatever. I just keep throwing them in the laundry. As they get used, I use them more, throw them in the laundry. Pretty soon, the entire thing is colored because it's, you know, stained with all the different colors, all the media that I use. And when they get really stained and worn and nice color throughout or thin, then I can tear them up and use them in art. So now I'm going to grab a little bit of clean water and go over here and grab something dark. It could be any dark brown, even black, even Payne's gray, you know, burnt umber, anything that's nice and dark. What am I using? This is Van Dyke brown. So I'm just going to grab that. And then I'm just going to come over here and draw a trunk. And I'm not worried about that trunk being anything in particular, any perfect. Well, I pulled pink right down with that one because my tree isn't dry. So lessons, you know, if you don't want any of that color for sure to get in your trunk, then you need to dry it first. There's a good lesson. I'm going to dry some of that. I'm afraid I'm going to put my hand in it. I do have quite a bit of water on my trees. You know, this would be cute, even just in your art journal, to just make a whole row of trees, even a little forest. Some that are smaller in the background, some that are bigger in the foreground, taller, whatever they are. I could go around this with a gold metallic marker if I really want to clean up those edges. I could remember to not use quite as much water if I want to have cleaner edges like this one. Let's see. See if I can get that little bit right there. Oh, it's already dried. Okay, I'm going to put a gold star over that. Now, when I did this one, I just used India yellow, which is a bright yellow, and so that makes a really nice star. I also, I did those last night while I was watching a movie. So this one today, I grabbed a couple of metallic markers, and you could use a gold gel pen, but I thought, let's see if this metallic marker will.
Oh, you didn't paint them on?
I did. These I did last night. I painted those on with just a thinner brush and the yellow. And I do have gold paint, so I could do that. But I thought I would try this. If I don't see, I don't like the color isn't the same. So I don't know that I really like it. I think I'll just paint right over it. I mean, it's metallic, but it is different. So I'm going to go ahead and take a brush and just use this metallic gold over here. I'm not sure that this brush is thin enough, but so the easiest way is to smear the paint everywhere first. Really good at that part. Is to go straight up from the point and make one line. That gives you your up and down. And then once you've got your up and down, we're going to do two more lines that cross it. You could do another in the middle and make a perfect cross. Then you do two in between it. That's a lot of lines. And I'm afraid that I'll just end up with a big blob up there because I won't have the definition, you know, especially if it's wet. So I've got the one line up and down. I'm going to do a line that crosses it this way and then a line that crosses it that way. So they're both off-centered. So go that direction. And if I pay attention, I can make those two lines a little bit shorter than the up and down line. Because I did it that way and it's bigger, it's not completely covering the one I just did and gold marker. So I'm just going to widen these just because I want to cover what I did with the marker. But they can be thin, they can be thick. You can make that center one really tall. So it's like a Star of the East. There we go.
You making a 6-pointed star?
Yep, that's exactly what it is. Thank you. I just practice, and Carrie tells you what the real thing is that I'm doing.
So, yeah, I was trying to make 5-pointed stars, and my middle one looks like there's a little guy standing on top of the tree.
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I mean, if you start with a 4-pointed star, then you have to go to like an 8. You know what I mean? If you do a cross,
right,
then you have to do one on each diagonal. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 5, 6, 7. Then you end up with 8 in order to have that balance and not have it look so funky. I do like the paint on it better than I did the pen, but certainly a gel pen and metallic marker, any of those would work. But also, I'm watercoloring, and I'm wanting to learn techniques and feels of watercolor paint. So using the watercolor to do this is helping me to learn and practice that. This one I'm going to start kind of down in the tree because I made this one so tall. There's not a whole lot of room up there. And I have a blob of pink paint there, but it's going to get covered up with this star. So not worried about that.
Yeah, my stars are not touching
the tree.
The tree.
So all you have to do is pull the bottom one down. Do you know when we put the star in the tree, that bottom part that hooks on the top is always longer than the star itself, so it still looks normal.
It's an abstract painting. It's not.
Yeah, this is an abstract star too. But that's okay. I like it. I don't want them all to be exactly the same.
Yeah.
They're different sizes. They're different widths. Stars are different. Okay, so now we've got our trees and we got our stars. And now we want to do some kind of a base down here. So that just gave a minute for the trunks to dry so that I don't just drag a whole bunch of water around those. So now you can come down here, and this was kind of like there was just some straw and ground. That's why I chose that color. You could do any colors you want. Excuse me. I think I'll just grab maybe a, let's see. I think that might have been yellow ochre, and then I put a little bit of dark brown in it because it was just a little bright. Maybe I'll try this quinacridone gold. Let me make sure I've got my brush clean so I don't pull pink. Get some fresh water. There's quinacridone gold. See, down here it looks really kind of brown, but it's a beautiful gold when I look at my swatch sheet. So I really do need that swatch sheet. So then all I'm going to do is just come over here and do a little bit of this. I also like how it's darker when I first put it and then it goes lighter, which actually makes it look like you're using multiple colors and get that variation. And some more water. You can put as much or as little as you want. Bring it up around the trunk or just down here. And then I have to, I mean, if I put a sentiment, it'd probably be down here among this stuff. See if I can cover up a little bit of that pink. I could even just run a little bit of pink through it to, cover the pink little dots that I splotched down there. But there you go. So this is a fairly big one. I could use that as a card. It's still a pretty large one. But if I took a large, if I had folded this in half, or if I took a larger piece, folded it in half and made like a 5x7 card, that would be perfect. It could also, that the card doesn't have to go this way. It could be a card this way. Carrie did some nice dainty trees, so she folded that in half and have a perfect little card there. But it could open could be a larger one, 5x7, and it opens this way. You know, Christmas cards open both ways. I'm going to pull this out of this book. So while it dries, I could use another page.
Those are cool. I like that.
That's cool. And so my thought was, if I sit down and just play in my art journal doing this, I can do all different colors. I could do a whole forest. You could do different, you know, trees on different pages. And then you could go back and you can stamp in or draw in people. You could even do those blobs and do little people out there Christmas tree shopping.
Yeah.
Yours is perfect for that because they're green trees you'd go Christmas tree shopping for. So there's the Christmas tree lot, and then there's all the little people shopping, and you could make a whole little scene. That would be fun. Okay, so do you want to try these little people? These are fun people and super, super easy. Really, as I was doing it, I thought, oh man, mine are not looking at all like the person I was watching. But in the end, they end up looking great. It's really perfect. So I'll use a smaller brush for this because they're just little blobs. And actually they could be bigger, but I guess I don't, that you can make them any size you want. So for this, all the people are just different colors. So pick whatever colors you like at the moment or whatever colors you want to work with. Clean that off. Make sure it's not got color. There we go. Some brush water. Maybe I'll get something green here. And so the person that I was watching do this, they just put down, little blobs like this. And then, of course, you have to clean it between every one of them. But sometimes after they did it, they would go back and add a little more to the blob or, make it a little bit bigger or maybe decide to make it a little shape or something. So so to start with, all I'm doing is putting down some blobs. And the blobs can be, or maybe should be, different shapes. I feel like I should have a couple things going so that I could just get the rest of that paint off onto something else and not just have to wash that paint off every time. I hate wasting that paint every time. Okay, so let's get a yellow blob over here. So I've got a blue and a green and a yellow. Definitely need some red. Okay. Okay. I don't even know if I did the same amount of blobs as the person I was watching, but I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So depending how big your paper is, maybe you have 8, maybe you have 10. Let's get some of this bright teal. What is that? Cobalt teal blue. That's pretty. So also we can buy more paint at the sale, the upcoming sale. Oh, good segue, Sylvia. Let me show you this. I know some of you have this. Many of you do not. And I have a few of these that will be clearanced at the Black Friday sale. So this is a watercolor set. This is a little tiny watercolor book, which I love it. This is really good quality watercolor paper. Okay, so here's your watercolor book. And then it comes with your paint palette. You put your own paints, your own watercolor paints in. It comes empty. So you've got your paint palette. There's 8, place for 8 colors. There's your mixing plate over there. And it comes with the clip. And so you can take this and go sit outside or go to the park or watch the birds or go sit by the lake or wherever. I take the dog out to let her run and play, and I can sit there and do this. And then you get a water brush and also a spray bottle. So you can spray your paints. You've got your water brush to work and to mix over here. The only thing that you need to bring is a rag or what I really want to do after using this a few times. I wanted to get just like end of a shirt or sweatshirt, something thick, or one of those old sweatbands from the 60s that can go on my arm, and just slide that on my arm. And then when I want to clean my brush, I can just wipe it on that, and I don't have to carry a whole nother towel or something. That'll be perfect. So this is the set, the watercolor set. It's a wonderful gift. First thing you should do is gift one to yourself. But it is a really cool gift for somebody that you know is artsy, you know, that may not have that. And there will be a few of those clearanced. Whatever's left in stock will be clearanced. Carrie, can you take over for just 1 minute? I will be right back.
Sure. So I've got some blobs here. And I have to let Marianne tell me what to do with them. But the sale is going to be awesome. And it's on Black Friday. And you all should come and bring your friends, because the deals are just amazing. Yep. Amazing, amazing. Yeah, I forgot what time it is. The sale starts. But there's going to be so much good stuff. More paint at the sale, Sylvia says. I guess I didn't buy it all up. We had a member sale, and that was fun. But there's so much more to go. So who else is painting along? Anybody? Melanie, are you painting along? Sylvia? You're so quiet. Yes, I use a lot more water in my watercolors than Marianne does. Everybody has their style. Oh, good. Melanie's painting along.
Yay, Melanie. Can't wait to see all the things that you guys do in the group. All right, so how many blobs do you have? I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I need a couple more. I need a couple more blobs.
I have 8.
What colors don't I have? Purple. I don't have anything purple. Jill's not here. I'll do purple for Jill. Purple would be, we'll do purple right in the middle. Ooh, I got too much water on that one. What were you saying? You use more water or less water than I do? Just as I came in, I think you said you use more water or less water.
I use a lot more water.
A lot more water?
Mm-hmm.
I am still trying to get a feel for, I tend to use too much or too little is my problem. And so I'm trying to get a feel for what is the right amount, because if I tend to put on too much, as instinctually I put on too much. And so I'm trying to cut back and put on less and feel where that is. Cause I'm having difficulty with that. How much do I need? How much is enough? Not enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, come on. We need more people than that. You know what I was just thinking would be super cute? What color blue was that I used? What color don't I have? I don't have any orange. Let's put an orange guy out here. What would be super cute is to put some notes out here and make it look like they're singing Christmas carols, and it would be a cute Christmas card, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah.
I just thought about that as I was walking back in here. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, that'll work. You can always add more later if you want. Okay, so now you want a thin brush. May not be thin enough, but it'll work. If you're a little more skilled with it than I am, you can use a not so thin one. And now I'm going to go to a black or a Payne's gray or a super dark brown or a super dark blue, something like that. I'm going to go to black here. And this is where we're going to do the little people, the heads. Let me just get that wet over there. That'll help. Okay, so what we're going to do is go above each of the blobs and put another blob. That blob is the head. And what I'm learning is just to not worry so much about the size and the shape. Just put it there. As I'm watching different artists do it, because not everybody's head is shaped the same, right? Not everybody's head is the same size.
Right.
And if they got hair, it's different even then. So I'm learning just get a blob up there. Like this one had a little bit out to the side, and I thought, oh, it looks like she has a ponytail. So I ended up giving her a ponytail. Gotta get another lozenge.
Well, Sylvia's saying check your messages.
Okay. Lisa is watercoloring. She's quite proficient with watercolor.
She says, I'm yelling here.
Sorry. She's using magicals on her leaves. Does that count?
Ooh.
She has been doing some of the coolest leaves. Sylvia, you should watercolor some of your leaves. That would count for sure. Okay, so back to the black. Getting little heads on all these little bodies. Some of them are really small, but then as I do them, if I think the head is just too small for that, I can add more. I can't really take away from it. So better to have too small of a head and have to add more. All right, so everybody has a head now. Whoop, that one's kind of big. It's okay. And I'm going to rinse this off. I'm still going to use the same black. But I want to make sure that I don't get too much paint on my brush, because now I'm just going to make a little line down from the head that becomes the neck.
Okay, I was going to say, mine have floating heads.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
and I noticed that, and the person that I was watching, I can't even remember who it was, that hers were quite far up there, floating heads. So then when you put this little line, I mean, they're almost, like, well, of course, they're abstract people. So to make it a real looking neck, it would be just a little bit of space, and it would end up being just a blob on top of a blob, because you couldn't really do.
Right.
So that little tiny neck, having that extra gap in there and being able to put a elongated neck was really what gave it that cool look. So, all right. So then I'm going to go down with that same small brush. I think I need even a smaller brush. Then all she did was do a couple of legs down real thin for each person, and maybe put just a little dot or a slight notch for feet. And one leg's fatter than the other, one foot's bigger than the other. That's okay too. And so the ones, if you kind of divide it down the middle, the ones to the right are kind of looking left, and the ones to the left are kind of looking right. So then they're all looking towards the center. And so that's the direction I'm going to put the feet. I mean, the legs are just the legs, but if I put the feet going out that way, then it looks like that one's walking that way. This one maybe has a bent leg, and so is in walk. Maybe one's just standing there. And by I've just made this right leg. I know you can't see because it's so far away there. I made the right leg longer. Actually, it's the person's left leg, but it's on my right. I made that leg longer than the other leg, so it makes it look like they're standing at an angle, and that foot, that one is behind. So it doesn't look shorter after you make it. And you're like, oh, my legs are the same length. But if they're all exactly the same length, then it's going to be standing there straight on, staring at you, and so you don't get quite the motion or movement that you do. You could make one that has thicker, wider legs. Maybe they've got pants on. I'm going to come over to this one, which is kind of like a little flowy dress there. And I'm going to do a leg down. And I'm going to do a leg that kind of goes behind a little bit. Like that. So everybody's legs can be differently. Just like people, no two people's legs are the same. So I don't want these to be the same. And that one looks like it has pants on too. Cool. Wasn't intentional, but I like the way it does that. Let's see. I got one more person that needs legs here. And I want to make that. Oop, that one got a little thicker, so that one's going to be a little thicker. Okay. This is so easy, and it's really kind of fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
Making these little people. You could make these little people in amongst the trees, make a whole little forest of trees on an art journal page.
People.
I like just experimenting with them and then thinking, okay, I'd go to an art journal and I can combine a lot of these different things. So you can choose to or not to give them some arms, and that could be in black. And I don't want to do a whole lot for the arms, honestly, because I don't know, they start looking more not real. So I'm just going to kind of intimate arms there. You could also, for arms, pick up the same color and just darken, or a little darker version of that color, and just darken like right from the shoulder down just a little bit. And then that looks like there's an arm there, even though you didn't expressly put an arm or make it dark color. Just like this yellow, if I do just a little darker yellow, now I'll hold that up and you'll be able to see that it looks like there's an arm there. I think I'm going to do that with this cobalt teal as well, and see if I can just intimate arms. As that dries, it'll be darker right there. Because then it's not, I don't have these big obvious arms sticking out black that I don't know what to do with. So arms are harder. Legs can just kind of come straight down and, or be cracked at an angle. Arms seem harder. Okay. So I forgot which color blue that was, but I'll just go to a really dark blue and just kind of, whoop, way too much water. Pick that up. See if I can pick that up without destroying my blob person. How will they hold their hot cocoa without arms and hands? Well, that's a good question. I'm intimating arms, but I don't want to draw attention to the arms. Just because I don't feel like I'm very comfortable. I'm not very comfortable making arms and hands. However, now that you say that, for me, it would be easier if they had a cup of hot cocoa, because I'd have a place to bring the hands for them to do something. They're not doing anything, just where are their arms and hands going, hanging out there. That's difficult for me. So this one's a really transparent. I'm going to make that one a little darker on the edge that looks like arms. And you could also use another color or darker of the same color, along the shoulder or along the bottom to add a little bit of shape or you know, contrast as if it's part of their clothing. It's a nice square guy. Let's see. Green guy needs some arms. All right. I like that idea, Melanie. If I know I can bring their hands up and put a cup of cocoa in it, that makes the arms a whole lot easier for me.
A couple of mine look like colorful penguins.
I love it. Okay, so most of them, I intimated arms. The yellow one is probably the easiest to see with just a darker yellow on the yellow.
Yeah.
Some of the others, I did just a little bit of arm. You can see an elbow out there. But it doesn't take a lot, actually, but our eye will see what we want to see. So it doesn't take a lot to intimate the arms. Filling in a couple of necklines here to bring it up to their neck. That one still really needs to dry. Okay, so now here's the fun part. The smear part. See the shadows where they're standing? Yeah. Well, also, if you wanted to give somebody a ponytail or some kind of hair, you could do that too with the black. But the smear, the shadow is just a smear of their feet. So you can see how if I divide down the middle, everybody on the right side is looking, they're all looking towards the middle. So just divided down the middle, they're looking that direction as if the light is behind them. Maybe they're on stage and light's behind them on both sides, but they kind of look like they're facing each other here the way I've done them. I don't know if that was intentionally or not, but I'm just going to I'm going to use this small one. I'm trying to remember if I used a small one or a bigger one before, but I can always make it bigger, but you can't make it smaller. So I'm going to use a small one, and I've cleaned it off, and I'm just going to get it wet just in clear water. And I'm just going to come up here and put some water on the foot and then just draw it out. Just smear it out. That's all it is. Smear out the foot. Might have used a bigger one before, but it's okay. And as you draw it out, and it really just is clear water, a little bit of the paint will slowly start to leak out. And so it's darker at the foot and it gets lighter as it goes out, just like a shadow. I thought that is the coolest, easy way to do a shadow. And if somebody like this guy has thicker, heavier feet, this is going to be darker and even easier. But I needed to put a couple of strokes in there to get a wider shadow so it isn't just one little strip. Because the shadow is always bigger, wider than the thing it's shadowing. So even this girl, she's facing away, but her shadow's still going to go the same way. Yeah, I think I used the larger brush when I did the other one, because I don't remember having to pull that so many times. But it's okay. It still works. So there it is, using the smaller brush. And this one is using the larger brush on the shadow. Let's see. Not really. They won't really fit in the same screen. So smaller brush, larger brush. So I can look at this and say, well, kind of need a little bit more shadow right here. These guys over here don't have much, but if I had to, I could pick up a little bit of black paint, but I'll just come back with some water over the foot, which is still damp from the water that I put on it, and just grab it and smear it out a little bit more. There we go.
Okay. Cool.
Easy peasy. But that would make a really cute Christmas card if I put some notes and then some words floating around above them. Cute. Look at that.
Yeah, pretty easy.
I like that. People look good and love the trees. Awesome. Thanks, Patty. My people are too crowded for Coco. It's making me claustrophobic. That's funny. But yeah, I could totally see float some words around and then even, or see some notes, float some notes around here and there, and then float the words of a Christmas song, or even we wish you a Merry Christmas, and float some notes. And that is could be your sentiment right there. And then could even put a ribbon across the bottom if you wanted. But what a cute Christmas card, handmade. We get to have fun while we're doing it.
Right.
All right. It's 1 o'clock. We can end, or we could go a little longer and try another technique. What do you guys want to do? What do you want to do, Carrie?
I could do another one.
I could do another one too.
Try another.
But I will go or I will stay. So, all right. Let me put my little people over here to dry by my Christmas trees. Awesome. Thank you, Glennis. Okay, so let's do we can do the circles that like ornaments for a card, but also there's a technique that goes along with that same type of thing that is not necessarily for a card. It's just a fun technique on watercolor paper that also is really great practice. You need a lozenge too. Oh, we didn't do that one either. We can do that one. Well, we might not. Well, maybe we'll do that one on a whole nother day. Because I could see doing that one and then doing the doodling, the one with all the little trees, and that taking a whole hour to do that. Okay, so for this one, we're going to use things that can make a circle. I've got a lid here. I'll do some different color circles. I've got a big piece of paper, so I'll probably use this cup, which is bigger. And then maybe I'll use a cup that's a medium. So I've kind of got 3 different circles here. And I'm going to start with a big one. I'm going to use just a round brush, I guess it's a medium size. I'll use the same one that I was using before. It's not too big, but also you could use a little bit bigger one. It's okay. And so this is not for a card. It just ends up with a really cool painting, and also you could doodle in it if you want. And something fell on there. And just have a really cool page in an art journal, or you could cut it up and use it as cards or in a journal. So I'm not necessarily going to use Christmas colors for this one. I'm just going to use colors that I like after I stick my finger in the fuchsia. I'm sure to do that. That's my favorite thing to do. All right. So I'm just going to grab a color. I'm going to grab, what is that? Cerulean blue. And I'm going to paint around the edge. I don't want it to fill up inside, but I'm just going to paint around the edge of this. Not worried about it being perfect or any particular amount. And I'm going to set this down, hold it for just a minute. I'm just looking for it to make a circle. And by doing this, when I then paint in it, I'm going to wipe that off because I'll use it again for another color. When I paint in that circle, it acts as a border and is not going to, let it spread all over. So now I'll grab some water and come inside that. And the idea is to let your moist brush just barely touch that outside ring, because then I've still got plenty of paint on my brush too, which I could use a clean brush and just clear water, but it's all the same. It'll all work. I don't want to waste that paint. As you put water, use that up. As you use even clear water here and you go to the edge, that clear water will grab the paint and the circle that you just put down and start drawing it in. And this one, it is good to use a lot of water because that'll pull it in and create the cool designs and shapes. Get even more water there. And you can leave white spots. White spots will be your shading. And that's pretty dark, and it's pretty dark everywhere. So I'm just going to leave that for a minute. If I was doing ornaments, I would kind of clean my brush and I would go over this side, which would make it very light, which would give me that that light glisten on the side of the ornament. But I'm not going to do this because it isn't ornaments. It's a whole different technique. But I am going to leave a little bit of that white space, and I'm going to let it be darker over here. All right, so I'm going to clean my brush then, and I'm going to pick another color. I'm really liking that fuchsia. I can tell because I've used it a lot. And I'm going to try to clean off the blue off of this cup. If you don't have a bin of circles, start yourself a little plastic container or a baggie or something of circles, and keep your washi rolls. Carrie's got washi rolls. Toilet paper rolls are perfect. You know, tops of coffee jars, little cups, things. This is not going to last very long because it's just paper. But plastic things, I use like the inside of tape rolls when you run out, you know, use up the double-sided tape. All kinds of plastic jars, the lids to medicine bottles. Those are great. Look what I did. Okay, so now I'm going to get a second color, and I'm going to go for that fuchsia over here. Get it nice and wet, and I'm going to do the same thing on my cup here that I'm using. And for this one, I'm going to use the same size cup because I think it'll make it easier for you to see. And then I'm going to start interspersing colors, or I mean sizes. So I'm just going to put some fuchsia around my circle. Doesn't have to be much. All it has to be is enough to create a circle. So this one is beading up and not staying quite so well, but I also don't have as much paint on it, and that's okay. So when I put this one down, I'm going to overlap that blue circle. Hold that for a minute. There we go. I have a hard time not crunching my lozenges. Do you do the same? I can't have anything just sitting in my mouth. All right, so now as I get water, and I'm going to fill this one with that fuchsia paint along the edge and let the water draw that out. And you can do this two ways. You can let the blue one completely dry. So I could go somewhere else while the blue one is drying, or pull out the heat gun and completely dry it first. There are two different techniques that I'm going to tell you now, and you get two different looks from them. So you can let it completely dry. So then when you do this one and it overlaps, the blue is dry, you put the pink on it, and you're going to have the blue and the pink, and then where they meet or cross, you're going to have a different color because one's overlapping the other. I did not let them dry. So that's the second technique. So now when I put the pink over the blue, they're going to mix, which is completely different than if one overlaps the other. And that's why it's really good to try all the techniques, because it's a different look, a different color if they mix versus one overlays the other. And so it gives you a better idea of what your paints do, what they look like, how they mix, how they overlay. So some paints are naturally more transparent. And I know a lot of you know this way better than me, and I'm just learning. So I'm not super comfortable. I know that there's some reds, like I have this cobalt violet. It's a very transparent color. And when I put it down, like I used it on that person in the center, and it was very transparent. I went and grabbed a whole nother blob dark and set it on it to let it dry because I wanted the color. Had I looked at that swatch sheet and thought about it, I probably wouldn't have used that because it's very transparent. But for this, putting that transparent color over another one would give you a very cool look. So I've got the purple or the pink and the blue, and then where they overlap, they have mixed because they were both wet. and I have a purple. So it also gives you an idea of how a color mixes with a variety of other colors. So I'm going to take the same pink, this fuchsia, because I have it on my brush, and I'm going to put it on this smaller, this is just a little tiny plastic cup, and I'm going to put that up here somewhere. Even if I don't do it immediately, it's there. But I wanted to try to use up some of the fuchsia that's on my brush before I just wash it out. I hate just washing out paint. I'm like, oh, that's good paint.
Where's your sidekick journal?
Sidekick journal.
So it's a journal. I'm using book pages right now.
Okay.
It's a journal that you keep open on your desk for all your roll-offs and all your extra paint on your brush.
Brilliant.
Yeah, more.
Well, just like you have a roll-off sheets for gel printing.
Right. Have it be a journal or pages that you're going to make into a journal.
Oh, I love that. I never even thought about that. What a great idea. Yeah, do it on book pages, and then you can cut things out of them, die cut out of them, or fold them up into envelopes or pockets. That's brilliant. Thank you. See, that's why I need you here. Y'all here with me always give me new ideas. So I don't know. I'm just learning. I'm just experimenting, as Margie would say, usually showing you what not to do. But I'm okay with that because I want you to know that everything doesn't work perfectly the first time. But a lot of videos are edited for many, many hours and also filmed many, many times to get it just perfect. And then we go to, I remember trying things out and going, why didn't it do the same thing, as she did in the video? Why is that not working?
Right.
Well, because she did it 25 times before she, got the right one, and then used that film and then also edited them all together. So it doesn't work out perfectly. I like being live with you guys like this because as we experiment, we can see what works, what doesn't work. And best of all is you guys always give me ideas of, we'll try this or try that, even as we're doing them. Mail brochure and magazines are amazing sidekick journals. Great idea, Melanie. Really great idea. Okay, so now I'm just going to pick different sizes and different colors and start getting, let's see, what are we going to use? Let me go with some of this quinacridone purple. So what does quinacridone mean? I looked it up once and I don't remember.
Yeah, I have no idea.
I looked it up because I thought, well, that's an interesting word for colors. I don't remember. But I just noticed that I keep going to some of these quinacridone colors. So it must be like a certain tint or hue or shade, added to it, the main color, that something that I happen to really like.
Right. That catches your eye.
Because I keep going to those. I don't have a whole lot of quinacridone. I've got quinacridone purple. And I know that there's, what do I have? Quinacridone gold. That might be all. Oh, quinacridone red. Say it a few times and then my mouth starts to go. Ask Alexa. For me, it would be the SIRI. Honestly, we had Alexa in the house and I finally unplugged her out of irritation.
Yeah.
I really did. But I have the SIRI lady on my phone.
Mm-hmm.
I ask her a lot. I know. I guess I could ask her right now because my phone's sitting here. But anybody out there know what quinacridone means? In the world,
Sylvia says, "Ask the A person."
Because she said it. Yeah, she said it. Yours probably.
Yeah, because mine is active, right?
Oh, yeah. You have to say the A person. I have to say the S person. Badass lady. Oh my goodness. So another thing you can do is once you get these, like put these colors down, you could spritz it with water and see what it does. You could spritz it with alcohol and see what it does. Or you can put like that one, maybe what I should have done. That's nice, rich color. I could go back just with plain water. Oh, that's cool. Look at that. Pick it up. That looks like a purple moon.
Sylvia really wants to know. Go ahead and ask her.
Okay. Say crack a dome. Hey, Siri. What does quinacridone mean in a color? Sylvia, she gave me cuidado. No. Siri, what does quinacridone mean to a color? Here we go. Wikipedia says quinacridone is an organic compound used as a pigment. Numerous derivatives constitute the quinacridone pigment family, which finds extensive use in industrial colorant applications such as robust outdoor paints, inkjet, printer ink, tattoo inks, artist watercolor paints, and color laser printer toner. As pigments, the quinacridones are insoluble. The development of this family of pigments supplanted the alizarin dyes. Okay, so if the quinacridone component of the color is insoluble, that tells me why I just used this quinacridone purple and it was very rich and solid and did not give me a lot of that water variation until I picked some of it up. That makes sense. Wow, that makes perfect sense. Okay, so it's an organic compound that's used as a pigment. So I guess like if you take the purple and then they make, you know, a purple that's more transparent, and then they make a purple that's, you know, a hue, and a purple that's a tint. And if you make it quinacridone, then I suppose that not only changes the color, but makes it act differently because it becomes more or less soluble. Wow, learn something every day. Okay, I'm going to put that purple down here. Just use up some of what's on my brush. So the quinacridone ones also don't want to stick to this plastic stuff very easily. So I guess that makes sense if it's insoluble, that component. Makes a little more sense. It's much more, I mean, as I paint with it, it feels or acts almost more like acrylic paint, more solid paint rather than the water.
Interesting.
Color. Yeah, which is watercolor really thins out as I go, you know, as it gets, you start out with this big rich thing, and then as you go, it kind of thins out to where you have nothing.
Right.
But the quinacridone colors seem to kind of stay pretty solid. And so when I put it over this pink, I can't see through it at all. I don't see the pink. Of course, the pink was dry, but it not, I'm going to try the transparent one on the other side and see what that does. So all I see is the purple.
Yeah. Maybe if you used it a little bit lighter.
Possibly. I mean, I didn't put a whole lot on for that one, but I probably could maybe water it down, you think, a little bit more?
Yeah, and just see what happens.
I'm going to try this cobalt violet, which is a very transparent. When I look at it, it looks very purpley, but when I use it, it always ends up looking very pinky, I think.
Yeah.
It'll look more purpley against the pink.
Funny the way colors do that. It looks purple, you expect it to be purple, but yet it's got so much red in it that it becomes pink.
That's a good point. It's the red. Sylvia reserves comment.
Oh, really?
Since when did you start that?
Right.
Okay, so return this because I keep sticking my hand in paint. Grab some more water. So this is that cobalt violet, which is very transparent. Oh, I grabbed some of that pink because it reactivated the pink. But I can see right through the cobalt violet to see the pink underneath it. That's kind of cool. All variations of the same color. It's cool. So yeah, once you put these down, you could spritz it with water or flick water on it and get, what do you call that? Like the blooming effect.
Uh-huh.
Or you could spritz or drop alcohol on it, which is like the blooming effect, but it will give you much more clear circles, much more distinct.
Ooh, I'm going to try this.
Than water does.
Where's my little spray bottle of alcohol?
Actually, I'm going to try alcohol on that quinacridone purple and see if that has any effect.
Right? See what happens.
Ooh, cool. Now they start looking like germs under a microscope. So there's some alcohol on that quinacridone purple. They're blooms, but they're much more defined circles than a water bloom would be. I need some other colors besides pink and purple.
Yeah, mine's just too wet.
Let's see here. How about some
blues over there? It's pretty cool.
I like this quinacridone gold. See, I really like that quinacridone gold. I'm trying to find something that's not quinacridone. Why do I keep going to that? Cadmium red medium hue. Looks like it would be very contrasting. Now, how about a green? Phthalo green blue shade. It's that one. Yeah, I couldn't tell by this what color it would be at all. Unless I look at that chart. That's craziness. Sylvia, what's your comment about quinacridone? Cracodome, as she says.
Cracodome?
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Let's get some phthalo green blue shade. Now I want to make some cards with those little people on it, and I want to put words to a song and some notes flying around the air. I just think that'd make a super cute and unique card. And so easy. You could do it with your grandkids.
Yeah. They'd rather just make paint splatters, I'm sure.
Yeah. Yeah, as would we. Yeah, I need something that the kindergartners can do because it's too difficult.
Yeah.
Not that skilled with watercolor yet.
Or their hands.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's true. Control. Hand control. I'm getting better. But it's just all these exercises that are just basically having you try techniques that really helps. I'm going to put some alcohol in this phthalo green. It looks kind of cool. It almost looks bleached out. That's cool. Street value is overrated. Of cracodome. Oh my goodness. All right, so let's get a great big one of that. That's a good color. Ooh, that is a good color. Now see how some of them were just beating up on the edge of these and wouldn't stay to give a good ring.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and this one is not. This one's just coating it really nicely. That is, so see, that to me, that has to do with whatever ingredients are in, like the quinacridone is an ingredient that not everything has.
Mm-hmm.
There's got to be, let's get into the science of it, right? Anything that's, well, now I'm thinking about the like the pan pastels. Yeah, the primary color, and then every one of them has a tint and a shade.
Right.
And so it seems like you add black or you add white, but in this case, it's almost like not only do they add the color, but they add some other ingredient like the quinacridone. I don't know why I'm even going down that road. It's not like I really care about the science of it, but
it's interesting though.
Sometimes, yeah, in the moment of it, it's fascinating. I always think, oh, if I remember that, then I'll know which color to pick because I know what they'll do because of, that scientific thing. And then I don't remember. Don't remember what it was from last time. That's a really pretty color, though. That phthalo green blue shade. I'm going to overlap the blue with it. The blue is dry. So, ooh. That's cool. The other thing is after they dry, they're always, I've done this exercise before, and after they dry, they're always different. They're always different than what they are, what they look like when they're wet.
Oh,
this
yeah.
is what happens when you overthink. Just have fun. Push water around, right, Sylvia? Quit overthinking. I'm just having fun now. I am just having fun. Pushing water around. That's exactly. Pushing paint and water around. Blobs. I do like blobs. I have found I can do a lot of things with blobs. Who cares if it's a crackodome? Use all the colors. Well, I never knew that I could create so many artistic things with blobs. So now that I've seen all the things that I can do just with blobs, it makes me feel a lot more comfortable just playing with it because I can do blobs. And blobs can be turned into all kinds of things. All these are is blobs within a circle.
Yeah.
Now I watch some of these people do really cool paintings. I think someday. But right now, not going to worry about that because definitely not where I am.
Me either.
But I do understand that you got to get a feel, just like everything else, you got to get a feel for what the paint does, how much water to use.
What your paper does with it, what your brush does.
Yeah, who knew the paper is so important? The quality of the paper or the thickness of the paper.
Mm-hmm.
That makes such a difference to your outcome. Or take away my credit cards, Sylvia says. Oh, thank you. I would love to use your credit cards.
We know exactly when and where to use it.
Exactly. Carrie and I can handle that. We know right where to take your credit cards.
Oops, she says.
Dick Blick, here we come, right? I'm going to put some of that gold.
I should keep some salt in my room too.
I was just thinking the same thing. While it's really wet, you could drop salt on it, like the water or the alcohol.
Right.
And then I actually have a whole new container of Morton salt over there. Yeah, and then when it dries, brush it off, and that gives you different kind of texture than the water or the alcohol did.
Now I'm just splattering.
Be a good idea to have a little container, huh? You're splattering alcohol now?
Yeah. Looks kind of cool. Oh,
yeah. Wow. See, yours are much more transparent than mine. I like that. You've probably used more water, less paint,
Yes.
different colors, but I like that. They look really cool.
Yeah.
So that's part of the just practice. You see if you do it with more water or more paint,
Mm-hmm.
then you go to do a real painting and you know what outcome you want. Which right now I have no clue, so I'm better off just doing these practice exercises to learn techniques. All right, let's see. If we put this quinacridone gold over the top of that blue and that green, do we get? I think we need more water. We get green that smears. That's what we get. Ooh, that's kind of cool. Just put a lot of extra water on it and then pick up some of the color.
Oh, yeah.
So give you different looks. Now it's starting to change the color of that gold. All right. Yeah, let's do another day. Let's do that one with all the little trees.
Oh, yeah.
Because
like
you'll teach me some really great doodles to do in that. It ended up being, I'll see if I can find the video of that I watched and send it to you.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of cool. I mean, not that you need a video, but you can just see what she did, what the outcome was.
Oh, I really love to watch what other people are doing.
Me too.
And see if I like their technique better than what I'm doing.
Or something new that I don't even know what I'm doing.
Right.
Which is usually the case. I mean, you can't learn everything by ourselves, from ourselves. We can learn by ourselves, but we need other people to learn from. So, all right, let's get another circle of this. So anxious to see what Melanie has been doing.
Yeah.
If she's doing the same technique exercises that we are. Hopefully she did the little people in the trees, because I'd like to see what everybody does with those.
Yeah.
It's like do the same thing, but you know they're all going to be a little different. Since I didn't do Christmas in July, this is probably as close as I'm going to get to maybe I'll sit down and do a bunch of those for watercolor Christmas cards. But that's about as close as I'm going to get to doing some Christmas this year. Little alcohol in those. It's a cool look. That looks like a film reel. The purple one looks like a film reel because the dots are all placed
Oh, yeah.
all the way around. Not intentionally, but
yeah, the more paint you have down, the better the alcohol reacts with it. Mine's almost too light to have the alcohol do much.
Okay. So you just need to go heavier paint.
Yeah.
Let's see. I need some different colors. Pick a circle, any circle. How about French ultramarine blue?
Ooh.
That sounds pretty. Clean off that brush. Melanie's following along, just doing a little bit differently. Awesome. Can't wait to see. So that's some of that phthalo green on this cup. Let's see if they end up mixing. Let's see. Right in the middle. One blue over the other blue. See how that changes the color. Well, I think I do like doing these with a little less color, a little more water, so that when they dry, there's more variation, also more ability for them to mix or to see through them to the color below.
Right.
But I do kind of like doing one over the top of another one that hasn't yet dried. And so they bleed together in that portion that is overlapping.
Right.
That's a cool look. Hi, Chris. Hopefully you'll get to go back and watch the beginning if you weren't here, where we made some Christmas trees, make your own Christmas cards. And we did some blob people, or carrot people, as Sylvia says.
What people?
Carrot people.
Carrot people?
Just like make a little carrot blob with your
Oh.
paint and then draw some legs. Carrot people. Carrot makes me think I have to fashion something, a carrot. I think of them as blobs, then I don't get so,
Right.
uptight about it. I just need to make blobs. I can do that. Maybe when I get more comfortable with them. I like that you said some look like penguins. I think that would be super cute. But if I think to myself, I want to make penguins,
Yeah, they'll turn out looking like people.
people, right? Exactly.
Well, is it about time to draw our winners?
It is. It is about time to draw our winners. If anybody has not gotten in the super chat yet that would like to for today's prize pack, you have about 60 seconds to do that while I pull up the wheel of names. Set these over here. They're already dried. I love that watercolor dries so fast. I have Patty, Carrie, Sylvia, Melanie, and Glynis so far. And yes, thank you, Sylvia. Please give a thumbs up and please come back after it ends and leave a comment. Because that is what helps YouTube put our videos and our lives in front of others who might be interested in the same thing. And that's how we've met a lot of you. And that's how we meet new friends and learn new things. And I just love new people, new ideas. All, it's awesome. So let's see. We've got Patty with 2 T's, not 3. And we've got Carrie. Thank you, Patty, and thank you, Carrie. And we've got Sylvia. Thank you, Sylvia. And Melanie. Thank you, Melanie. Thank you, Glynis.
Chris.
And Chris. Thank you, Chris. All right. This is a good pack. I've been getting things ready for the sale, and I've been finding all kinds of stuff, and so I'm sticking stuff in. All right, let's see, copy. We're going to put everybody in. Let's start with 4 times, maybe 5. We appreciate you being here with us. We appreciate you trying out the things with us and showing us your pictures in the Facebook group. That's what's motivating and really inspiring, is to see everybody else's work, whether it's work in progress, whether it's something that you felt was a fail, whether it's a completed project. Doesn't matter. That's just what's fun is to see other people's stuff. So, and it's always fun to spend a live with you. Appreciate that. All right. So I have Patty, Carrie, Sylvia, Melanie, Glynis, and Chris.
Sylvia. She's going, yeah, draw.
Well, we need to see Chris got time to get in.
Right?
And I will draw. It just takes a minute to get the names typed in. I can't type them in ahead of time because I don't know who's going to be there. So, wait a minute. I got to share the screen. Share screen. There we go.
Sylvia got her box already.
Oh, you got it today? Oh, yeah. No wonder she wants to hurry. She's got a box waiting to open up.
Yeah.
From the private sale.
Okay, here we go.
All right, here we go. I will watch YouTube so that I won't shout it out before y'all see it. My YouTube is really slow. It is just now starting, and it's already ended. It started on YouTube. Wow.
Woohoo!
Congratulations, Melanie. Awesome. Melanie is our big winner today. Remove that. Very cool. Not Melanie's first time. Not her first rodeo in the prize pack. So awesome. Congratulations, Melanie. Oh, you got your boxes too and love it. Awesome. A box and a bag. Nice. Cool. Oh, she got some good stuff.
Sylvia says I pay her shipping.
Aw, awesome. Sylvia, that is really nice of you. Melanie, your shipping is paid by Sylvia. Wow. Thank you. Thank you, Sylvia. Well, just add it with Sarah's washi tape so you don't have to do so many separate ones. You can message me after. Awesome. Thank you guys for being here. Can't wait to see what you guys have made and continue to make. I have a feeling we might sit here and make some more things, and we'll post them in the group as well. Okay, Sylvia's gone to open her box. Bye-bye. Woo-hoo. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Carrie, for being here with me. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Later. Of course.